decided to go out to California. It was a little bit harder than I thought. So here we go. I went down to Santa Cruz. Stared out at the sea. I went down to Santa Cruz. Stared out at the sea. I was worried and crying. You know, it's hard sometimes here in California. What in the world is going to become of me? When I left Chicago, I headed for the Frisco Bay. Yeah, when I left Chicago, I headed for the Frisco Bay. Had a playmate out there that really loved to play. I roamed from Sacramento down to San Jose. Yeah, I roamed from Sacramento down to San Jose. California women help me on my way. California's mighty pretty. My money done run out. California's mighty pretty. My money done run out. I'm gonna move up the country, man, and see what's it all about.
All right.
I'm recording.
That's some blues right there, Johnny B. That's some blues right there, man. I love it. I love it.
Enjoy that. It's a great song.
Well, welcome to the Blues Fanatics Show, everybody. We here with Johnny B, the man himself, the legend, the one and only guitar man. I didn't even know you play harmonica. That's pretty interesting. But yeah, we here with Johnny B. So Johnny, tell the people about yourself a little bit.
Sure. Thanks. Thanks for having me on the show. You know, I went to Chicago to go to college. Ended up going to Blues University. started playing with Tail Dragger, who was a great blues singer, and that was kind of just by luck. I met a guy who was on the college radio station, Dave Waldman, and I I started hanging out with him at his show, and he was playing harmonica for this guy Tail Dragger on the west side of Chicago. So I went out there, and I thought I could play guitar, but once I sat in with them, and it was a total disaster, and I realized that I couldn't play at all, and I had to throw everything away and start over from the ground up. And it was such an exciting electric atmosphere. It was just something I wanted to be a part of.
Mm-hmm.
So that sort of got me going on my path.
Oh, so you caught the bug pretty early.
Yeah, and then Tail Dragger, the blues is kind of a small, tight knit community, and like through him, I met Eddie Burks, who I went on the road with.
Eddie Burks, yeah.
Started traveling with, and Sam Lay.
Sam Lay, yep.
Sam Lay turned me into a real guitar player because like it had to be right. He knew exactly what, and the only thing I had to worry about was like him not giving me the evil eye, and then everything.
Yeah.
School,
He seemed to always get an evil eye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
So that song, I was gonna say that song, Johnny California Blues, is a great one. What made you write that one? That's one of my favorites. I played it on one of my show featuring the blues and like that. How did you decide to put that one in?
California Blues, is that what you asked me about?
Yeah. What brought you to make? Yeah.
It's all a true story. I mean, my whole life was in Chicago, and like in the 90s in Chicago, every day was like Christmas because you could go hear Eddie Shaw. I mean, you could go hear Eddie Shaw and Eddie Clearwater on any given Tuesday night,
Yeah.
I pretty much went out every night. If I wasn't playing, I was somewhere listening to somebody. And it was just like this big party that went on for like 20 something years. And eventually that all started to change, and I was starting to plateau in Chicago a little bit. I went from being kind of like, the king of Division Street because I had a little buzz going for a little while there, which,
king of Division.
That'll buy you a cup of coffee anywhere for $2.
Like that.
Yeah, King of Division Street. I put that in a song off of Neoprene Fedora. I did a whole album about moving to California called Neoprene Fedora because neoprene is like a surf, waterproof fabric, and the fedora is kind of Chicago. So that was the idea, and so it was a big change to move because eventually everything plateaued out, and I just needed to play for new audiences, play with some new people, and then some of my idols and heroes had either died or retired, and it wasn't quite the same for me anymore. It's still a center of the blues, but it wasn't the same for me anymore. So I moved to California, and then that was kind of I had a lot of friends out there, and I had a lot of good times. I played a lot of good shows, but it's still a struggle, So that's what that song is about.
Yeah. What was the blues scene like out there? I mean, it's totally different from Chicago. What was the blues scene like when you got out there?
There's a lot of really talented musicians out there, and it was really fun to work with them. Aki Kumar kind of got me started out there, and it was
a harmonica player, right?
Yeah, great harp player.
Good guy.
Yeah, and I was recording at Kid Anderson's. I think I have the record for the cheapest record made at Kid Anderson, so that's great because it's a,
Yeah.
Because I did Greetings
California too.
Hours. Another record that I did it in 5 hours. So it's like, if you know what you're going to do, man, then all you have to do is walk in there and do it.
Yeah, it flies by. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was really great, like working with those people, and having sort of, it's like different colors to just having different, collaborating with musicians that strong. Lots of, like Nancy Wright and lots of people, it just brings a new dimension to your music. So that was great. But then eventually it was like that kind of ran its course too for me, because it is a pretty competitive blues scene, and it's just really different. So Now, then I moved up to Portland for a while, but I was on the road the whole time, so I was hardly ever there. It's like my joke was, I need a GPS just to get to the post office.
You really spend as much time in Portland? I mean, you moved
I was
every year
never
on the road.
because I rode a lot. I was just like constantly myself and all that.
What's the
And,
blues scene like in Portland, Oregon?
Well, one thing I like about Portland compared to Chicago or the Bay Area is that it's a
Yeah.
whole lot smaller and relaxed.
Yeah,
And I it's like that's kind of nice for me right now just
yeah,
to do that. And there's a lot of great people there. I had an advantage in moving to Portland in that I did a record years back with Paul DeLay, who's kind of like Paul DeLay is to the Portland blues scene what Jerry Garcia is to the Deadheads, you know?
Oh.
And
Oh,
you know,
wow,
they just
okay.
miss him so bad. And so I did a record with him called Delay Does Chicago, which was also completely by chance. I was playing with Jimmy Burns, the singer, who you might know, Yanni, and great singer in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
Paul DeLay just happened to be in the audience because he was playing there the next day and he flew in a day early. And I didn't know who he was. And he just came up to me and said, "You guys sound really great. And I'm going to come here and make a record with you guys." And, and he did like a month later. And he just showed up. He showed up and he had a yellow legal pad with some song ideas, and he sat there and fleshed them out, and we went in and did it. And so anyway, because I played with Paul DeLay, like I had an advantage coming to Portland, and there are a bunch of really nice people who really love the blues there. It's a really active blues society there, and I've been really happy there. But then I moved to New Orleans in late July, just to help out my mom. She just needs a little help right now.
Okay, yeah, that's understandable.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this.
Too.
Are you coming up in Chicago and pretty much I'm figuring Chicago is your roots as far as blues goes?
Yeah.
I know it's pretty hard to deal with Chicago musicians because they see things one way. Not saying it's a bad thing, but they know what they want, and either you do it or you don't. You get the hell on. So taking right. Taking your foundation and going to, like you say, you went to California, you went to Portland. Did that help you any in, plugging in with other musicians down that way? Because I know it's a whole different atmosphere and a whole different feel.
It did, because I knew what I wanted to say and how I wanted to say it. And I was immediately different and stood out. So I had that Chicago stamp of approval. So, I think it's carried me everywhere. Like if you can make it in Chicago, that can take you anywhere.
Well, if you can make it playing with Tail Dragger, you can make it anywhere.
So right. You still take Chicago blues with you no matter where you go, right, Johnny?
That's right. So that's a good question, Yanni. And I was, I'm proud of that.
Yeah.
It was a lucky opportunity for me, and I made the most of it just by showing up. Just showing up all the time.
And blues is like that, man. You just literally bump into some damn opportunities, man. It's crazy.
It's not an overnight success story.
Oh, no.
Eddie Shaw said, I love this thing Eddie Shaw said. He said it takes 20 years to make a blues man.
Yeah, I agree with that. Eddie Shaw is one of the greats that I don't think get enough respect in the game, because Eddie Shaw was a great person and a great musician.
He was.
And he of some of my very favorite records, and he made his own great records. And
and to the day that he was still performing, man, when he could, and his performance was high energy.
Oh yeah,
I love it. I miss Eddie Shaw, great guy. And also too, we lost another great blues guy, San Diego blues man, Tomcat Courtney. Rest in peace. He will be missed. I had an honor to play with him up and down Europe, and yeah, he will be missed. Rest in peace, Tomcat Courtney.
Did you know him, Johnny?
I never did get to meet him. I've only been in San Diego a couple times.
You guess you knew of him?
Yeah.
What's that, Dan?
You knew of Tomcat? You knew of him?
Yeah, I knew who he was.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you down in New Orleans helping your mom out. Have you been doing any playing down there?
A little bit. I've done some. I did a recording session with Johnny Sansone.
Okay. Okay.
I was going to say, Johnny, I had a song when I was doing my featuring the blues show in Flagstaff, Arizona. The House of the Rising Sun, which was done by the Animals, was one of like most requested songs I got from listeners. Tell us about how you did your version of that, The House of the Rising Sun.
Wow, you made me a star in Flagstaff, Arizona.
Yeah, I still got my roots going in Flagstaff, this small mountain town in Arizona. But yeah, so tell us about that song, House of the Rising Sun. I'd get emails and like, can you play that? And I was like, I'd be playing it so much that people loved it. I mean, everybody, I guess, that loved the original Animals version and hear your version. How did that come about?
Well, it's crazy about Luther Tucker, and I kind of played it in a Luther Tucker style, but made it my own thing. And I just kept on playing it live. It was always a high point, live. And then I think a lot of it has to do with, for the people who went to Vietnam and of that generation, that song means a lot to them.
Yeah.
And like I one time played it down in Long Beach, and this young lady came up to me and said, "Could you play it one more time for my dad?"
Yeah.
Because just one of those things. So it's like, if you get a request to play something again, like you did something right.
And I don't understand. And
melody.
I don't understand, and maybe I'm not young, I'm pretty old, but that song is like a spiritual song for a lot of people.
House of the Rising Sun.
House of the Rising Sun, yeah. I don't get it. But it's a great song because wherever you go, like we'll do it too. And my dad, he got his own rendition of it, and it's like people just like, wow. Because he mixed it with Amazing Grace.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So like the two.
Yeah, so it's crazy.
So
that's a
the
great
1-2 punch.
Yeah. So it's crazy. People love it, man, and they take it into a spiritual vibe, and it's out this world. So Johnny, tell me some of your influence, because I hear a lot in your guitar playing.
Oh, thank you. Well, you know what? My favorite guitarist is Earl Hooker.
Okay.
He's just my very favorite.
Oh wow.
And I like Sonny Boy Williamson. Like the first Sonny, I like both of them, but I like the first Sonny Boy Williamson a lot. And kind of what's neat about his songs is like they're like little postcards. Like he's such a character, and I can imagine people buying his records, and each record is like a little postcard describing his current situation. Like, oh, what did Sonny Boy do now? Kind of thing.
Yeah,
it's like,
and he was real graphic.
Yeah. So yeah, exactly. So like that, I was actually thinking about that when I wrote California Blues, because it's like, okay, this is like a little postcard saying like, what's up with me right now,
Yeah. That's what I liked about Sonny Boy too. He's one of my favorites as well, because like I said, he painted the perfect picture.
Who did?
Sonny Boy. He painted the perfect picture. All you had to do was listen.
Right, because that's really what it's about.
Mm-hmm.
And then I love all the great guitar players. One guy I love is Luther Tucker and Johnny B. Moore. That guy was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing him play, he had that rhythm. He had that funky rhythm.
Yeah.
And his right hand, he was unique. There's nobody like him.
Okay.
And I love Howlin' Wolf. I got to play some with Hubert Sumlin a couple times. In fact, it was like Sam Lay, Hubert Sumlin, Eddie Taylor Jr., and Eddie Shaw, and myself.
Oh, wow.
On stage, because it was a tribute to Howlin' Wolf. So like that was
you should have been in a dream.
I was up all night. I could go. So I can't believe this.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that's great.
I think I got to sleep at 6 in the morning that night.
I got a chance to play with Mud Morganfield back. I think it was in July, doing like a special virtual performance that was in Chicago. So it was like going back and playing with Mud.
I guess so. I mean, I never got to see Muddy Waters, but Mud Morganfield's a great singer, and we've done some things over the years, and it's always inspiring. I used to play with Mary Lane, and Mud Morganfield would come by and sing, and so I know him from the West Side.
Yeah,
Singer.
How about Rick Frere? Rick Frere, for his band member Rick Frere.
Yeah, Rick was like an older brother to me. Like when I was starting my band, I was so inexperienced, and I was in my early 20s, and I didn't know I didn't know anything. Like I'd try to get gigs and I didn't know what to charge people. I didn't know what to say. I'd get somebody on the phone and then I wouldn't know what to say. And you have to I had to force myself to make these like calls to try to get gigs, and I was like terribly nervous about all that, but you have to just get over it, and do it. Make yourself do it. Yeah. So Rick taught me what to do, about all that, and then he was such a great rhythm guitar player that I'm sure I just learned some of this, learned it by example. So that was really great. He was a great driver too, because nobody likes my driving.
Yeah.
So
you also influenced. I know you have the song "Homework," which is another song that was requested a lot by my listeners, and influenced from Peter Green from Fleetwood Mac. Was that a song that you grew up listening to from Fleetwood Mac when they're back in their early days? "Homework."
On YouTube, I was never a huge like Fleetwood Mac, Peter Green fan until really recently, and then I listened to him. Like, this guy might be the very greatest white blues guitar player.
Yeah.
Because he's just really powerful and soulful, and he has that. He plays it poetically, with that, and like most can't do that.
Yeah.
Like Magic Sam, that he plays kind of like a poet. Like, you've got to leave some space for it to be beautiful. You can't just rush through it,
Yeah.
And I felt like Peter Green had that, and so I started
I guess most people from Fleetwood Mac might not remember. That was early Fleetwood Mac, "Homework," before they became classic rock band.
That was a blues band,
Yeah.
like pretty damn good. And then Otis Rush did "Homework," and a lot of people have done that song "Homework," and it's just a fun song. You need a variety of grooves, especially like the gigs in Chicago are so long, like
you need that variety to keep the listeners going, right?
It's an easy night, right?
Yeah.
And you need a lot of material. I mean, I don't know hardly anybody that has 3 hours of their own original music. So you got to do a few things that people know, and you have to mix up your tempos. So this has like "Homework" has it has a different. It breaks up it breaks up the tempos.
Yeah.
And breaks up the feel, but you can still put a lot of blues in there. You can put all that soulful blues like in right there in the right spot.
Have you played any like Texas blues, like stuff from Stevie Ray Vaughan or Jimmy Vaughan, guys from the Texas area?
When I was first starting, there were so many people who were either trying to be just like Stevie Ray Vaughan, or then the more hipster guys were trying to be just like Jimmy Vaughan. And I decided I didn't want to be like either one of them.
Yeah.
Especially all these cool people in my face, like Eddie Clearwater and Byther Smith and stuff. It's like, well, I just try to play kind of, not exactly, but kind of like these guys and Johnny B. Moore and stuff like that. So I never really, although I love the early Fabulous Thunderbirds, I love it. And Jimmy Vaughan is great.
Yeah.
And Stevie was great. I saw Stevie twice in high school. And I just didn't get on that train.
Yeah.
But I'm glad because
different feeling, his blue. I mean, the way he does it is just a little different for you. I mean,
What'd you say, Dan?
I
I'm
was, I
sorry,
was
man.
saying is the way Stevie did it would just you feel like he was because he was so powerful and unique that you wanted to kind of leave Stevie's his own legacy there. You know?
There's better guitar players than me who are influenced by Stevie Ray Vaughan, and I'm just going to leave it to them. You know, like I play harmonica, and I can't play any Little Walter. You know,
Yeah.
so because there's a million guys who like their thing is Little Walter, Little Walter, Little Walter, and I love the music of Little Walter. Like
Yeah.
if I had to go to a desert island, I would take some of the music. I would take the music of Little Walter with me, but I play it on harmonica. You know, so I just simplify it down because everybody's got to have their own identity on guitar, and I just didn't want to get caught up in
Yeah, I agree. Every musician should have their own niche. You know, you can hit some influences, but you got to have your own thing, man.
Yeah.
If you want to get respect.
Right, and that's they'd say like so and so's a great guitar player, but he can't do my thing.
Yeah. Right, right, exactly.
You know, guys.
Yeah,
that's that Chicago.
My thing, you know. So. Hey.
Mm-hmm.
So you played out the rhythm
just me.
In Phoenix, Arizona, right? Johnny. You played with the rhythm room owned by Bob Corritor in Phoenix, right? A couple of years back, right?
Oh yeah, I've played there a lot, and that's a real. It's a perfect live blues venue.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing else going on, you know. It's just a room where people come to dance and listen to blues. So it's not like a theater concert hall where everybody is like too tense, you know, and you can't get into the feeling. But it's also not like a place where everybody's like watching football and eating ribs. You know,
it's on the blues, you know. Yeah.
So do you like that type of venue better compared to like a festival setting or, you know, a bigger venue type gig?
Well, this is something I got to work on, but it seems like the smaller the venue is, the more I like it.
Because it's more personal, probably.
What?
You can be more personal, up close with the fans, the audience.
Oh, that's what I'm all about. And like, I've played plenty of blues festivals over the years, but I guess a challenge for me is to like create that intimacy and stuff in a bigger place.
Right.
I'd like to be able to do that, but you know,
I think that's what the audience like about blues so much, because we are blues musicians. We are approachable.
That's the biggest thing.
And we interact more. That's what I think.
You can interact, yeah. It's like meet these musicians, which is awesome. You know, that's why I always enjoyed it. You know, do you get a chance to regularly keep in touch with your listeners and fans? I mean, obviously, right now with everything going on, it's a little bit harder. But is it something you're able to continue to do?
I do. I mean, I'm on social media a lot just to keep in touch with people and let people know that I'm still here and that I care and stuff. I mean, when people say things like.
I got a question for you, Johnny. This is one that I think about every day. I mean, I love blues. I know, Yanni, you do. All three of us do.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think that blues needs to do so that we could be, you know, on the forefront of people's mind, you know, when live events do come back at full force and to continue this great music to be in front of people? I mean, what do you think is the biggest thing that needs to happen? I mean, we have there's so much talent. There's so many great musicians and great opportunities. What do you think needs to happen so that when we get back to our original norm that, you know, people are saying, I want to see blues and keeping blues in mind of people, you know?
Good question. We got to really, I mean, the blues needs to still sound like the blues.
Right.
Like, say, oh, we're not popular enough, so we got to like make it this, or we got to make it that, you know? Yeah. It's like, the more you really got to stand for it and make it actually really sound like blues and make it really compelling. And then it'll just find its own audience in its own time. I think.
Do you think a lot of musicians are exactly what you're saying, or in that taking that same approach, or are you seeing musicians trying to take it and go into different directions? You know?
Some are, and if you want to go in a different direction, that's fine, you know. But if it's like country or heavy metal or something, blues anymore, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. When the last time you've been to Beale Street?
The last time I was in Beale Street?
Yeah.
Was last February.
And what did you hear when you was there?
I did see some good stuff. I stopped by the Cascade. I was there for the IBCs,
Okay.
and I really enjoy going there because at least all the people there are serious enough to fly, you know, to Memphis all the way from Croatia
Yeah.
or Australia or wherever. So they're serious and dedicated, and they're giving their very best shot. And you can
Yeah. So
see like 30 bands in 5 hours or something, you know, because everyone plays for 20 minutes. So maybe my math
But
is not so good.
have you noticed that the bands that come from, like you say, Croatia or Switzerland or Australia or wherever, they are more traditional than the American bands?
Yes, I have. And in fact, I have a band called the Jelly Roll Men from Norway. Hardest core traditional dudes. They're like way more traditional than I am, man. They were screwing,
Yeah.
you know. And I actually like Stephanie, that's my partner. We started a podcast called No Border Blues, and it's all international blues artists.
Okay.
That's the whole deal. And because we did a record that came out last year called No Border Blues Japan, which is all about the underground Japanese blues scene. And those guys are super traditional.
Really?
I'll get a copy, Yanni. Yeah, I'll get you a copy.
Please do. Please do. I gotta hear that.
yeah.
And they're so soulful and so traditional, and they play it with such respect, and they, but still it sounds alive, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like living in their hearts. That's the best way I can put it. It's
Yeah,
live
but
the
you know
blues.
what? I love to see that because I've spent a lot of time in Australia for the
Really?
last couple of months, well, before the pandemic. And it's some real traditional blues musicians out there. And I was just blown away because, you know, a lot of people, you know, rockabilly is not really blues. It's more rock and roll than blues. And them guys, it's like they serious. And I was blown away. I was really impressed.
Yeah, it's a labor of love, and the blues lives in their hearts. So anyway, it's really exciting for me to hear those guys. It's like it gives me some spirit.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely.
How does it feel, John, when you hear your own when you hear your music on the radio? I know I've played your songs on my show. How does it feel like when you get to hear
No, no. A better question, Dan.
Yeah.
How was it the first time you heard your music on the radio?
First time you heard your music, yeah, on the radio.
The first time I heard it on the radio, I just couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
I had a really great year in 1997. That was kind of when I went from just being a dude who was hanging out and sitting in and playing like gigs in the ghetto, you know, and just
Paying your dues.
yeah, that was the year that changed, and I became something a little bit got more of a foothold, you know, because I had 3 goals in my life. I wanted to play my own gigs every weekend. I wanted to go to Europe, and I wanted to make a CD. And it all happened like the same week, you know. I mean, right.
Oh wow!
And I couldn't believe. That's when I started hearing my stuff on the radio, and it's just like I can't believe this has finally happened because it seems so far away, like it could never be me, that kind of thing. And then one day it was, you know. So I'm just lucky because it's a privilege, you know. I mean, I haven't supported myself in music for all my life, but I've done it for most of it. And it's a privilege to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And because, you know, most people have it pretty rough.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm on a path where I'm doing what I do, and it's sustainable. And, you know, I'm very grateful. And that takes the fans, and it takes the people who support you. And the blues radio people are so loyal, you know. Like once they accept you as an artist, they stick with you. So the great thing about the blues fans is that they're really loyal.
Yeah, that is important. What was it like for you? I mean, I know these last 10 months have been crazy, but to like go from, you know, playing a lot before this pandemic to now, you know, with it being limited, was it hard for you mentally just from, you know, the scheduling of being out there and being playing in front of people to now having to do things a lot more remote and being more in one place. What was it like? I mean, I know for me, it's I still am not used to it, but how about for you, Johnny?
Well, I'm getting by.
Yeah.
It could be worse. And I'm keeping occupied. You know, I'm busy with the podcast. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to shine a light on some of these people who, you know, are international brothers and sisters who have the blues in their hearts, you know.
Yeah.
I'm keeping busy with things. And, you know, it's so much worse for so many more people that I don't want to, you know, I'm just keep sticking with it, you know.
Is there
I
one
do these lessons every week.
Is there
What
one
now?
you want to play when coming up, as we move hopefully to things getting better? One place you'd like to play, and maybe in 2021 or beyond, that you want to one venue or performance, a place that you'd like to play that maybe you haven't got to, but it's like on your list of places to play.
You know, I love them all. It's not really about. It's just about connecting with the people, you know, and you can do that anywhere.
Yeah.
It's like you can have a church anywhere, right?
Right. Well, one thing I'm gonna put you in tune with a friend of mine in Australia, man. I think they'll love you over there if you haven't been out in Melbourne, and I think you'll do great over there.
Thank you. I love that. I have.
I think you'll do real good
Thanks.
over there.
Thank you.
Like I say, from your style of play, yeah, your demeanor, you do well over there. When we go over there, I'll put you in tune with them. So yeah.
Thank you, man. I sure would appreciate that.
Like I say, hopefully things will be opening up soon, because there's a lot of musicians out there that's hurting pretty bad. And donate to the Heart Foundation. They helping out a lot of blues musicians.
And they also Blues Foundation.
Yeah. So
also is what's your website?
Keep your head above water, man. That's all we can do.
Yeah, I do have to mention the Chicago Blues Network. They've really helped a lot of musicians, including myself, and so did the Joe Bonamassa. It's called a Fueling Musicians Program.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they've sent a lot of people who are touring, and it's a program that's really designed to help out people who were touring where everything got canceled. And they've helped out me and a lot of my peers. I'd like to thank them. And Chicago Blues Network I've been doing like guitar videos for them, and like you mentioned, that Trading Forest performance. They've helped me and a lot of people a lot, and they offer a great thing for students who want to learn guitar. Check them out, Chicago Blues Network. Okay. So it could have been a lot worse for me. So, you know, I'm gonna stick with it.
Yeah, I was doing an interview a few days ago, and I was just telling them, like, hey, I went from working every week and touring like crazy to absolutely nothing. But I'm a saver, so I pretty much was okay for the most part. But it's rough for a lot of people. I'm blessed. So,
are you doing anything in the studios, Johnny? Did you go like to do any recordings or stuff in the studios?
Well, in February, I'm going to release something that I did last year in Dallas. I did a song called Cherry on Top that has Anson Funderburg on it. But as far as stuff in the studio now, I just did some recording with Johnny Sansone. And he's a great harp player. He lives down here in New Orleans. And I don't know. I mean, it's not totally being stuck in a small room with a bunch of guys might not be a good idea. So we'll see. But one thing I'd like to do is a bunch of like an instrumental record and make the songs kind of short, because, you know, I don't really want to do like long guitar solos. That's not like really my style, but a bunch of short instrumentals would be kind of cool. So,
okay,
we'll see.
How many pieces?
Just depends on what the song needs, but you know, I could guitars on top of each other.
I like that. Depends on what the song needs.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So how is your
I might just take a trip over.
So how's the rest of your band members doing? The rest of your band that you work with, how's everybody doing?
Oh, they're okay. I do miss those guys.
Yeah.
Miss those guys. I mean, that's is that, you know, we're not really meant to live remotely. We're social people. And
yeah, I feel the same way. But how much has blues for you as a not only as a performer but as a listener helped you through these hard times that we've faced as not only as a society with COVID-19, everything? How much has that helped you? I mean, for me, it's been like tremendous over these last 10 months, and especially the things that have been.
Oh yeah, man. Music feeds your soul. You gotta have it. If all of a sudden there was no music, people would lose their minds.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
What do you? I mean, for our listening audience that likes the blues or maybe is new to this genre, what is it you find from about blues that sticks with you more than any other genre? That's like where you know what this is a music that's like it attaches. What does it do for you?
Well, it's like Yanni was saying, it's a real community, and it's an intimate experience, like where you really connect personally with somebody. It's not fake Las Vegas show with fireworks and pyro. You don't need pyrotechnics to have a blues show. You just need
It's just simple, and it's right there. I mean, so do you think I mean, I'm 32 and I've been listening to the blues since I was like 10. So for people that are younger, maybe in their 30s, 20s, or younger, what's most important for people like that to start to hear this music? I think there's definitely an opportunity. What needs to happen for that? I mean, I always think about that all the time. How can I expose people my age or even younger to this music?
I don't really know. We gotta. I mean, you can't make somebody like something really.
Yeah.
And also they gotta. You can't even understand the blues until you have problems paying your rent.
Yeah, so you have to experience.
Really,
it's definitely experience, but Johnny, it's like a road you travel. It's like today, say, you into Gary Clark Jr., right? You love him. Well, once you find out you love him and get into it, then you journey back to the Jimmy Reeds and Robert Johnsons and
Johnny Hooker,
Johnny Lee Hookers and all that. You start up here, then you just journey back and learn the history.
Yeah.
So that's the part of the whole thing.
Right.
That they got to get to. And once you get to that, you'll get more fans, man. It always worked like that for some reason.
It does, and that probably won't change. And blues will probably never have a huge audience, but what I care about is the quality of the audience. The blues is really low, and they stick with it, and they care about their artists, and they, like when I was on tour, we would stay in people's homes, and they were just, they just wanted to help you because they care about your music stuff. So like those fans are gold, and there might not be like hundreds of thousands of them, but to me it's like it's quality over quantity.
Quantity, yeah. That's how I definitely agree about it. It's just
blues will stay consistent.
That's always for sure.
It'll never go anywhere. They stay consistent.
Yeah.
It always has.
Blues is here.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Blues is here to stay.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Hey Johnny, give us a number, man.
All right. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna do this song. My first one was about leaving Chicago, and this one's about coming to Chicago.
There you go.
Or at least it's kind of about coming to Chicago. When I first came to Chicago, I was too young to go to the clubs. I lived in Hyde Park. Yeah, and there was a guy that played on the street named L.V. Banks, right at 53rd and Kimbark. And anyway, he was a great guitar player. Just real soulful, not a fancy guitar player, just a soulful guitar player. And every time a good-looking woman would walk down 53rd Street, you kind of catch her. Ooh. He sang a song to her kind of like this. Let me be your teddy bear. Let me be your teddy bear. Put a chain around my neck and leave me anywhere. You told me that you love me. You told me a lie. I love you, baby, till the day I die. Let me be your teddy bear. Put a chain around my neck. Leave me anywhere. Oh yeah. You told me that you love me. You told me a lie. I love you, baby, till the day I die. Let me be your teddy bear. Put a chain around my neck and leave me anywhere. All right.
All right, that was some blues right there.
That's
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
Were you influenced at all by Willie Big Eyes Smith at all?
Yeah, he was great.
Yeah, because I did. As you were playing that, I happened to think of him. You know, I know he was Willie Big Eyes Smith. I heard some of his stuff in there.
Yeah, well, I did a lot of shows with his son.
Kenny.
Yeah, he's on some.
Kenny is getting his vocals together. He's starting to sound pretty good.
Yeah, he is. He's never stayed still. He's always on the move.
Mm-hmm. He's one of the best blues drummers out there.
He's very tough, and Willie, of course, was great. I did a lot of shows with Willie, or just here and there over the years. I saw him play a lot, and it was so great, man. Back in Chicago in those days, like everybody was such a character, and everybody had their own identity, and it was just really fun being around people like Willie Smith and Fuzz Jones, great bass player. But it was just interesting to see like how they played, how they did a gig, and every time they played, it was
a great
like
learning tool
class in the blues.
to be around those guys and learn from those guys and pick up bits and pieces for each one, because they all had their own egos and their own different way how they did things.
That's exactly what it was. I wouldn't trade the world.
Yeah.
How about Chico Chisholm? Did you ever get a chance to meet Chico?
I did. I saw Chico a few times. He was I know was pretty influential in Arizona.
Yeah, he really helped us out here with blues and presence in Arizona. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely been. How's the family? Everybody else doing good?
Everybody's hanging in there, man, and everybody's doing.
I got a question for you. So since you play with these guys, I need to hear a tail dragger story. You got to give me one.
Yeah, there's a lot of tail dragger stories.
I mean,
You know,
regardless, if you play perfect, because I played with tail dragger maybe like 2 or 3 times, and even if you play it perfect, it's not right. It's never.
no,
right.
this.
So I just be quiet and like, okay. He's like, oh, it's not you, Junior. It's not you. They got to do this. They got to do that. Hey, well, we playing everything in the same key.
Playing it right.
Yeah. But so I got to hear your tail dragon story.
One time he played me this song. It was a Muddy Water song. He goes, listen to this. And he goes, I know you can't play it, but I want you to try, goddammit.
Yep.
But you know, he gave you the shirt off his back.
Oh yeah, great guy, man.
Gave me a chance, and it was the tail dragger gigs were they weren't gigs, they were adventures.
Yeah.
It was all part of a grand adventure.
Oh yeah, like I say, he was a great performer, sliding all over the floor and doing his thing. Like I say, I love tail dragger. Great guy.
Yeah.
Great guy.
Saw him at the Rhythm Room a couple of times, and
yeah.
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 He the man.
Jimmy Primetime Smith. You know Jimmy Primetime Smith?
Yeah, we've played together at the Rhythm Room a few times.
Yeah, he's in Arizona. He lives now in Mesa, Arizona. So he's a.
And I used to see Johnny May Dunson a lot.
Yeah.
Because I played with Little Arthur, and every time Little Arthur would play, Johnny May Dunson would come. They were just buddies. And Johnny May Dunson.
You played with some greats, man.
Yeah.
It was just being there, just kind of being there. It was like being like Forrest Gump.
Johnny is kind of being there, but that sounds like a resume to me, man.
Yeah.
Well, if you go out every night and all those people are still alive and they're all going out too, you just put them. You know, I was like a leaf on a river.
Yeah, but it's a good thing you had the balls to step in and play. A lot of people won't do it. You got to have the nerve to get up with other guys.
Yeah.
Because they good guys, but on stage they assholes.
Yeah.
So that's right.
That's a real good thing. So, I didn't ask you. So, as far as the blues, do you consider yourself a blues man or artist?
I'm a blues man.
That's what I'm talking about. My man. My man. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I know I love this guy for some reason. That's what I'm talking about, man.
Yeah, I ain't no guitar player. I'm a blues player.
That's what I'm talking about, man. I love you even more, man. How about this? We ain't gonna take up too much more of your time, man. Take us out with a good number, man.
Oh, okay. All right. Sure.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Here we go. Chicago woman, honey, please come and talk with me. Chicago woman, honey, please come and talk with me. I'll give you everything you need. You know I am your leaning tree. If you need some groceries, baby, you know I'm gonna buy you some food. If your feet get cold, don't you know I'll buy you some shoes. Chicago woman, honey, please come and talk with me. better keep a pen to your side. Yeah, if you got a good woman, you better keep her by your side. Cause if she flagged my train, I'm sure gonna let her ride.
That's what I'm talking about.
There you go.
That's what I'm talking about. Johnny, tell the people how to get in touch with you and the podcast. Tell them all about that.
Okay, great. I'm on a Facebook fan page, Johnny Burgin Live, Twitter at Burgin Johnny, because there must be some other Johnny Burgin trying to steal my name there. And Instagram is just Johnny Burgin. My website is johnnyburgin.com. So please connect up so you can see where I'm at and what I'm doing. And always like to hear from you. Also I have a YouTube channel, Johnny the Blues Greats, once a week, every Monday. And subscribe to my YouTube channel. And I'm easy to find.
That's right. Look him up on all your social media platforms. See you there. Check out his website. You got any merch you selling on your website?
Yeah, I do. I've got I've got CDs there. I've got CDs on Bandcamp. So Bandcamp or my website's all good. And you can also see some of the things I've done on Delmark Records on their site. Delmark's a great label out of Chicago. Put out some of the best blues records.
Yeah, we're going to do a show about the Chicago record labels, blues labels.
Yeah,
definitely.
Well, Johnny, yeah, thanks for
Make
coming
sure you
on.
like, subscribe, comment, go to all the social media, like, subscribe, comment to everything he do. I'm Dave Yanni Riley.
I'm Dan Ligori. Thanks for joining us. Thanks, Johnny, for coming on.
Right on. It's great to be on Blues Fanatics.
Thanks for coming on the show.
Right.